Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today is the Gold Cap Challenge week number 3. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. So basically for this week we are about to open our gold, and now because of the new computer we can now have a look at this shit. Okay, so at this moment in time we are looking at roughly around about 39,853 gold. And we had last week 15,000, so we're going to loop that. We're going to round up and just say 40,000, okay? Because there's most likely going to be other stuff coming along with that. So that being the case, we have sold some Serenite ore, which I intended on selling this week. Not very many noteworthy stuff besides some few bits of transmog like the Bone Chewer and all that jazz. Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's just like that. But then afterwards, it has now refreshed, and we have another 25,000 gold. Okay, so basically what we have made for this week, 40,000 plus 25,904. We're gonna scratch the 4, like the 904. And we're just going to say 25,000 plus 40,000. We have made 65,000 gold. We said last week we wanted to make at least 50,000. We have done that, and we have made 10k extra as well. So really chuffed with that. We actually sold the durable rod of the Aurora like literally the day after I posted the video. I was like, oh, for crying out loud. So for 17,000 gold. So look at that. Pretty damn happy with that right there. Very happy with that right there. So we're going to gather that all up. And we are sat at 80,000 gold for the last couple of weeks. Sat in our bags. And now let's get into the farms. Okay, so what we farmed up for the first week is for 4 hours we farmed up the Wailing Caverns, and this dungeon is really easy to do. The route is up in like top right hand corner. I'm going to add that in post, and basically what we're going to do is we just basically kill all these mobs. So what we're really looking for is some of the high-end transmog that actually comes from here. Now the blue BOE items don't actually sell for an awful lot, but the greens actually sell for a decent amount with a decent sell rate. That was a very piss poor drop right there to actually do an explainer on, but you'll see what I actually got in loot from that. But what you're going to be wanting to do is just rounding up the first lot of mobs, so all of these raptors around here, and then bring it over to Lady Anaconda. Burn them down really quickly. Not hard to do when you're max level. I'm going to kill that guy there because he's starting to annoy me. And then once that's done, all we have to do is do this and follow the pathway down. So you just jump down after you kill all the mobs up there. Otherwise they lose aggro and then go back to your thing, and then you're going to have to round them up all again, which is really annoying. You basically round them up all the way up to Lord Cobrahan. My English is bad, and I'm actually English, so this is quite ironic. If you have a speed set, you're most likely going to be able to do the other side as well before you come out to reset. Or you can use your dream walk in order to leave the dungeon, reset, or if you're doing the Pandaria scenario thing, I forget what it's called. Proving Grounds. There you go. The Proving Grounds. So you can use like the Proving Grounds and your dream walk to reset the instance and then go back in straight from the beginning again if you don't want to head all the way back. I haven't got my speed set on this character, which is kind of annoying, so I'm going to intend on working on that and then possibly do a video about how you can actually build your own speed set, because I think that might be actually quite helpful for anyone who likes to do transmog farming. But I usually just do this side and gather up all the deviate hatchlings over here and then go out and reset the instance. I don't ever really have that much time to do that because even though I'm in cat form, it just cuts down the amount of mobs I kill per hour. Yeah, so it's much easier than that. So that being the case, let's get on to the next farm. So the next farm that we did for this week was 3 hours of material farming, and we focused on Fel Iron Ore, and this is where we went over to the Terokkar Forest in Outland, and it is relatively easy to do. Here is the route. What you're going to be wanting to do is have mining and then just following this route. I do this all the time, or route, doesn't really matter. You get the gist. So all you're going to be wanting to do is just fly around that in like for an hour and pick up all the Fel Iron or adamantite ore that you can do. Well, pick up essentially. And you will find some Kyperium ore as well. That will be shown up as a purple ore. That usually sells for a lot more than the adamantite, which we've got right here. The adamantite ore doesn't sell for an awful lot, and its sell rate is pretty shocking compared to the Fel Iron ore, but you get this as well as your Fel Iron ore, so you're expanding your market along with this. If you just wanted to farm up ordinary Fel Iron ore without any adamantite or chance of Kyperium ore, which is a lot of gold, if you get a node for Kyperium to proc, to spawn, sorry, not proc. And I would say you do the Hellfire Peninsula, because Hellfire Peninsula just has really Fel Iron ore. But at the end of the day, I tend to get more Fel Iron ore and adamantite ore from Terokkar Forest than opposed to the Hellfire Peninsula. Just Hellfire Peninsula is easier for people if they just want to focus on one particular ore, which is the Fel Iron ore. Now, with this one, you're expecting around about 10 to 15,000 gold per hour. I'm not really too fussed about the gold per hour rate, because at the end of the day, I usually get additional gold with the Kyperium. So one node of Kyperium spawning is approximately about 3,000 gold extra, and that sells like insanely fast. So I just follow this route along the actual route, and is quite easy to do. I can just basically numb myself out while doing it, and having 10 ton of different types of materials on the auction house, like I said on the Monday video, is a lot easier to do, because that means you're pulling in from different types of markets, pulling in and pooling all that gold together to build you up a nice stockpile of variety on the auction house, which is very, very handy indeed. Now let's get on to the items. Okay, so basically what we actually farmed up this week is quite a few perfect deviate scales, some ordinary deviate scales. They don't sell for an awful lot of gold, but there's something nonetheless to sell on the auction house, along with some wool cloth, linen cloth and all that jazz. But the most predominant thing that we were farming is the Fel Iron ore, which is roughly around about, region market value is around about 25 gold a piece, or 22 gold per piece. Now that isn't all that much compared to the corium ore. I said Kyperium, I think. I'm pretty certain it is called Kyperium on the node, not the actual corium, or maybe I'm just getting it confused. Doesn't really matter. This shit sells for a lot. Like 651 gold, and I'm on a high pop server at this moment in time. On my other realm, Thunderhorn, where I have all my other characters, it goes for around about 1,200 gold last time I checked, which was only like a couple of weeks ago, so that shouldn't have changed all that much. You do get the golden dranite, which is used in the mount for tailoring, which you then can sell on the auction house. Additionally, I managed to farm up some primal fire with that, where it actually sells for around about 587 gold, so that is additional gold on top of the material farm. So really chuffed with the materials this week. So not too bad, if I do say so myself. I did forget Eternium ore actually sells for around about 85 gold on my market realm, or my region market value is around about 82, so it hasn't fluctuated all that much depending on your realm, so quite happy with that right there. Now onto the transmog. I managed to get a 10, well not 10 ton, I got 3 deviate hatchlings selling for 960 gold each. They're at a 0.02 sell rate, which is it's not great, but it's not the worst sell rate I've ever seen. These will take a while to sell, and to be honest, if you're just farming for those battle pets, probably not worth your time. But there are other things like I said earlier, like the Gloves of the Fang. It's a 0.04%, 0.04 sell rate on that, and it sells for around about 261 gold on my market realm. The region market value is around about 2,500. But I have to bear in mind, if you ran this on an alt and did it and managed to actually get it for the actual item level for Twinks, you would also be able to, well, no doubt be able to get a higher value for it. But because it's the level 60 ones due to legacy loot, you're not really going to get much for it. The biggest sellers that I tended to get were like the pants, which was the ceremonial loincloth leather, which is okay. It sells for around about 9,000 gold on my realm, so pretty chuffed with that right there. It's pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. There are some other things that actually that will actually sell, and that is the barbaric cloth robe, which is 7,000, but that's at a 0.01, so not too great. And then there's more loincloth stuff and all that jazz. But the ceremonial leather harness is one of my favorite ones that actually drops for me this week from my transmog farm, and that goes for around about 15,000 gold at a 0.02. So all in all, how much did we get for our 7 hours this week for the gold cap challenge? And it comes to around about 112,159 gold of transmog and materials. This is why we're doing a split on transmog and material farming, because we know that we can get a decent amount to sell fast, and we know a decent amount will be put on the auction house for later sales, which is transmog, so we can bulk up and make sure we get income coming in gradually over time, which will compound and mean we will get more gold in the long run as opposed to the short term with the material farms. So pretty happy with that right there. It's one of those ones where I'm quite happy with. At the moment we have about 1 million gold's worth of stuff on the auction house, so pretty chuffed with that at the moment. We're going to be posting this stuff on the auction house, and I look forward to next week. We're actually making some real good headway in actually getting to the gold cap challenge, and it's slow but steady, so really happy with that right there. Next week I'm going to set a goal of making 75,000 gold from all the stuff we've already gained, so fingers crossed we make about 75k, because we did 65 if I remember right from the beginning of this video, because it does take me a while to remember. I should have written it down, but yeah, it was 65k. Have a lovely rest of the day, guys, and I shall see you in the next video, which is most likely going to be Mondays, because I don't think there's a Friday video unless I tend to do that TSM macro video. Have a lovely rest of the day, guys, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye.